We're live. Well, if you don't remember what you were like when you were a child, when you were growing up as a little kid, you may probably have seen some young ones, like a child at age one, age two, age three. Right in those children, there's this belief that anything is possible, that they can do anything. So if they see you do something, they want to try it. I mean, like there's no telling how far, the child can go. But then you know what happens? Over time, we tend to water down the the God given boldness and courage that these kids have. We try to make them conform to some certain things. We begin to speak fear into them. We begin to expose them to fear and into all those things that most times don't really help the mindset. So they develop that mindset of conformity to society, that mindset of conformity to fear. And sometimes they feel that some things which maybe in the past few years they will have thought was possible, they begin to see them as impossible. This is what the effect of mindset can have on a human being, whether it's a child or it's an adult, in your life as a person or even in your business or career. Hello, my name is Femi, and I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone that's watching me. This is afternoon here from Ontario, Canada. My name is Femi, and I used to work as a directional dealer in the oil and gas industry, but now I run full time this digital business. And here with me today is this wonderful woman, Aaronet, and I'm going to just give her the floor to introduce herself before we kickstart this topic today of mindset.
Yes, Femi. Good morning, everyone. This is Arenelle from San Francisco, California. I am a mother of two beautiful kids running this successful digital business on the side and also working full time in a global financial crime. So I'm so grateful to be here, guys, and really talk to you about mindset. That's a great topic when it comes to mindset. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love personal development. So thank you, Femi, for creating this topic for today. Yeah.
Yeah, like we said in the opening section, like a little kid, a 1 year old, a 2 year old, even 3 year old believes that everything is possible, believes that he or she can do anything. They
Hmm.
see you do something, they want to try it. But over time, when we begin to tell them the dangers associated with some certain things, we begin to make them conform to this fear mindset, or playing things safe. As we say, sometimes we say we want people to play it safe. And of course, over time we discover that this idea of playing things safe affect people as they grow older, to the extent that they're not adventurous, they're not able to take risk. And we discover that this has to do with mindset. Aranet, I've heard you talk about mindset. I know that you are a student of Bob Proctor. So there's so much that you know on mindset. And today I'd like for you to share with us just a few things, before we go into how it affects your business. So, like, um, we know that mindset has to do with, you know, um, what you said now about our cultural beliefs. It has to do with the way we respond to people or respond to situation, which has to do also with the things that we have believed in the past, or what we have exposed our subconscious mind to. That's led to the way we behave or respond to things. So, having said that, you have told me once that there's a conscious mind and there's a subconscious mind. So, can you just explain to us the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind and how they
Yeah.
affect the mindset?
Yeah. So before I will talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, what I've learned that let me talk about the power of having a mental order. You know, Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but without a structure, it can be overwhelming, guys, like trying to assemble a puzzle without a picture to guide you,
Yeah.
because we think in pictures, believe it or not. Because um, for example, if you likely picture a specific dog, for example, its color, its shape, or even its bark, that's because your mind doesn't think in words.
Mm.
It think in images. And that
Yeah.
is something that I really want to share it with you guys. The stick person that my mentor Bob Proctor say always talk. That's why we can't picture a mind. That's why this is something that illustrate really is a good illustration of the mind. So imagine that this is your mind, this is your five senses, this is your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is where your educational mind, anything that you learn from school, anything that you hear from other people, from television, from our parents, from our friends, it all save here in the conscious
Anything that you
mind.
can reason with your senses, right?
Yes, it is resonated with your senses, your see, touch, feel, smell, and whatever the five senses that you have, it all attached into your conscious mind. Okay, so that is your conscious mind. But the goodness thing, so any idea that is in the ether, like if you want to have a goal, right? And you impress that idea into your conscious mind, your conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject. That is the best part. So if you are thinking negative thought, you have the ability to deny it, to reject it, right? If you're thinking positive thought, then you can impress that upon to your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is your emotional mind. This is where all the negativity are subconscious. So all those limiting belief or habit that is not serving you, it all save in here. So whatever, all those uh, things that you have gotten from newspaper, from people, that are not in harmony towards the achievement of your goal, you accept that, you know you accept that from your conscious mind, and you become emotionally involved with that. Boom, you are planting a new seed in the garden of your subconscious mind. So this subconscious mind is the one that you have to protect, because this is where all the creation mind, even though you have a five mental faculties over here. That's why, let's say, when I go out, mostly I turn off my antennas, because that's where our bad assumption, we become judgy. If I go outside, I can hear things. I'm already reacting, and that it goes immediately to the conscious mind. You
Yeah.
see things what you are people, like our senses is so sensitive when we go outside. That's why grounding yourself, um, knowing strengthen your awareness is the most powerful tool that you can do when you go outside.
Yeah.
But again, I don't use these five senses in my conscious mind. The only thing that I need to use is when I imagine the goal achieved in my subconscious mind by planting new seeds. So I close this one, you know, I turn on my antennas when I go outside, and I turn on my antennas when I imagine my goal using my mental faculties. I only use my mental faculties on the conscious mind, where is the imagination. Imagination is where the creation started, right? And then the intuition, that I believe that is a God, whisper to you. Those are your guiding light. Intuition is what is that? Intuition is that's your connection to the higher power from God. That's the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And then the perception, that is your point of view. The reason you have the ability to think, you accept and reject, that is not in harmony towards your goal. And your willpower. Your willpower is your holding that image in your mind and not letting it go, whatever it is. And your memory, you have the ability to recall the past, the qualities that you have in the past, how you become successful. So the bring that to the present in order
Mm.
for you to use that, quality for for your present goal. Yeah. So so this is just really a powerful tool, because like, let's say I have a goal to turn my annual income into my monthly income, right?
I was going
So
to come to you. I was going to come to you with that. So just hold on.
okay, okay,
Hold on.
yeah,
Just chill. Just chill. Don't go too
yes,
fast. Just
okay.
chill. I was going to come to you, and I was going to ask you how that has affected your business, though.
Okay,
But
perfect.
like I was reading something to you before we came online, and I'm just going to read those things again. Like this is a book here, written by my pastor, Pastor Chris Oyakilome. It's about it's the power of the mind. And then he says here, he says in the introduction, he says your mind is unlimited in its potential to create whatever you desire. How
Mm-hmm.
he said when you put your mind power to work, the possibilities are endless.
That is
You know,
correct.
but and then he says what you become in life is largely determined by the content and the quality of your mind. But you remember there was something you said about the the upper part, the conscious mind that is connected to the sensitivity or to the five senses, right? That we have, right? That the one that makes you analyze things, or maybe to be judgy and all that. Like you said, when you go out, you turn that off because you don't want to be judgy. You don't want to be limited because, like, it appears like when we just make reference to how we started, we talked about the children. Like that that at that age, at their formative age, between ages 1 and maybe 3 and 4, they believe that anything is possible. But over time,
Mommy,
but over time, that's
right?
your mom. But then, like we said that over time,
Mama.
what is possible tend to over time, what is impossible tend to be more than what is possible in their minds because of the limiting beliefs that parents and the society have subconsciously impute into these children. And there was something you said that really touched me. You said that the subconscious is the mind that must be guarded because you don't want any negativity coming in there because when it comes there, I mean, like, that's where our response, the first thing that we do when you say that that your name is Aranet is because that name has been called several times from childhood, that that even in your sleep that you are Aranet, right? It has come to your subconscious, and that's exactly who you are, because what you are able to develop to bring out from your subconscious, right, is what really matters the most. So, like, my understanding is that creativity or creation starts from that subconscious. So, like, if you want to make a change to your life, like maybe you want to start something, maybe you desire, first of all, for you to even think, or for you to even be able to desire to have a change in your life, must mean that, must mean, how do I say that now? Must mean that, like, your mind is not fixed, it's not fixated in where you are. You want a change, right? There's some people that their mindset is just so I don't want to say negative, but it's just so limited to the extent that they feel that wherever they are is the best place they can ever be in life, and there's no need for a change. So now, back to the question you were about to answer earlier on: how do you make changes in your life, in your business? How do you apply this subconscious, bring, like, I mean, how do you use your subconscious to train your mindset in such a way that it affects positively your business, to make you a success in your business?
Well, the thing is, like, it's not only the subconscious, but you mentioned earlier about the kids, right? Because
Mm,
from once the kids one from 0 to 6 years old, from 0 to 6 years, they don't have subconscious mind. They don't have a conscious mind. So here, your kids only have subconscious mind. So anything that your kid is learning from your parents, from your friends, from what they're
from
learning at
society.
school, it goes straight over here. And that's how we are conditioned. That's how all this limiting belief is already here because they don't have any conscious mind. That's why kids are so smart because the subconscious mind is the emotional mind that we have. That's why they are so easily sensitive because whatever that they see or what they hear in their environment, it goes straight over here. That's that they don't have any conscious mind at all. This one at all. They don't have. They have the senses, and then once they learn something from school, it goes over here. That's how we condition. That's how we programmed.
Mm,
And from 7 years old to above, now we have the ability to choose. So this one is open. This one is open too. And we have at least the ability to reject or accept it.
yeah.
And then now, what your question is, that's why all negativity is subconscious. But the thing is, like, I remember Bob Proctor mentioned as before, mentioned though, there is a word that I remember. I can think what I please. If to think is to form, I can form what I please. Oh, that's something that I've learned. So I can think what I please. If to think is to form, I can form what I please. So if you have that goal in here, and then you accepted that, and it went to your subconscious mind, it's gonna start to form, and then that's how you form your goal, right? Because okay, I'm emotionally involved of earning 100,000 to my monthly income. So that idea over here, okay, you know what I'm gonna do. I want to turn my annual income into my monthly income. And then I
Mm,
accepted that to the conscious mind. And now that I accepted it, I become emotionally involved with it. And then I accepted, in my subconscious mind. And the only way for me to protect that goal is to slowly prune all the weeds that is the old conditioning. Because if I am not aware all those limiting beliefs, because the old limiting belief it stays here, the only way for you to do that is to do a repetition. You have to repeat it over and over again. That's why it's so important that when you have a goal, you use your mental faculties. Imagine it that the goal is already done, right? That's where your willpower
so
hold that image in your mind in order
sorry.
for you to, yeah.
So that's more like you are renewing your mind, right? That's like you are renewing your
Yes,
mind. You are taking out.
planting new seed,
I mean, like you're
planting new
displacing
seed.
the negative or the limiting beliefs, the beliefs that make you feel that this is impossible. You are
Correct,
filling
yes.
it. You are filling it with all the beliefs of possibility, and you are saying that one of the ways that is possible is for repetition. You know,
Repetition, yeah.
and
A repetition is the mother of learning. So
yeah,
repeat over and over and over your goal. That's why it's so important to auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is a suggestion to yourself from yourself by being grateful. Gratitude is the key over here. Gratitude is the gateway to heaven, and that's where all your affirmations coming from. Feeding your subconscious mind for positive thoughts. So all this programming that is saved in here will slowly die. You're pruning all the weeds that are, this limiting belief that is no that are not serving you. That's why you
mm,
have to plant new seeds, auto suggestion, repetition, affirmations, and thinking positive thoughts. Surround yourself with successful people that are the same thinking like you, because if you only do that once in a blue moon, it's not gonna work. That's the reason
mm,
why the only way for you to reprogram your mind is to is to do it in 90 days over and over and over
least
again.
90 days. At
90
least
days.
90 days, yeah.
At least 90 days. So if you're procrastinating a lot over here, you cannot prune weeds all at the same time. You have to do it one at a time. Like, okay, I'm procrastinating. I'm training my mind not to procrastinate. And then, okay, I'm going to do it again tomorrow and do it again the next day until it becomes who you truly are. Because your limiting belief or doesn't want you to grow. Your limiting belief wants you to stay in your comfort zone. And that is the reason why there are some moments that you want to stretch yourself, and then now you're talking about yourself like, I don't think I can do this, I am not good enough. You always start comparing to other people. Again, that is your old self talking to you. That is your limiting belief talking to you. And that is the reason why listening to podcasts, reading, and having an accountability partner is so
Listening to
important.
positive things, listening to things
Yeah,
that
listening.
align
Yes,
with your goals.
that is correct. That's why for me, I pick and choose what kind of music I am playing, because everything, words are energy. Even though you are listening to a music, but the words of the music the lyrics is so negative, right? That's still your programming. Again, your subconscious mind is working 24/7. Yeah, it's 24/7. That's why you have to pick and choose what kind of attitude or what kind of people you're surrounding with, what kind of music that you are listening, because it's working 24/7. So the only even though we are unconscious, Femi, we are unconscious, you know but now that we are now conscious, what are the things that we are planting in the garden of our subconscious mind? And then that is the time that you pick, plant positive thoughts all the time.
Like, I agree with you totally. Even the Bible says that it says like life and death and the power of the tongue, right?
Hmm.
If you keep saying things that are negative towards yourself
Yeah,
continuously,
especially
it
you're the
goes to
one
your
listening.
subconscious over time. It takes over your subconscious, and you see yourself, being limited and just doing those negative things. But if you keep speaking positive things to yourself, I can do all things. I am successful. I'm growing. I'm moving forward. I'm making progress. And all those things, right? You discover that you actually will begin to move forward. So I mean, that's very important one. And
Yeah, and one thing that I want to share also is our subconscious mind is immoral. It does not know the difference between good or bad,
yeah,
up and down, forward or backward, right or wrong,
yeah,
right?
because it doesn't think, right?
Yeah,
It does not think. It just
it think
accepts.
it only think in pictures. That's the reason. So that your outer world is a reflection of what's happening in your inner world.
Mm.
That's a powerful, yes. That's why your results, whether positive or negative, are direct proportion, you know, are direct proportion, or I mean, there is direct reflection, that proportion of your thoughts and beliefs. That's why, yeah, that's why, and this one is the good thing is this one is a loyal servant as well. And that is the reason why you gotta be emotionally involved, whatever a goal that you want that really that is serving you. That's why repetition is the mother of learning. You have to repeat it over and over and over because it doesn't know what is 1 million. It doesn't know what is one penny. That's why you have to really reprogram it, and you have to make this one important as well. Yeah.
I mean, like, this morning I was going through, I was responding to some comments that I received on my Facebook adverts, and one guy just said he didn't even say he didn't say anything. He just said it's a scam, and I know we're going to talk about mindset today, and that was the first that came to my mind that this is speaking from this is based on mindset, right?
Mm.
And it's either maybe the man may have been scammed before, you know, to the extent that he feels that anything that he sees online is a scam, or maybe somebody that may have just seen a negative, I mean, like may have just uh, thought that everything that's online is not good, right? Or there's some people that just don't see possibilities. All they see is impossibilities, right? And that's why most of the time we say, for somebody to be successful in life, you have to be careful those that are around you. You don't want to surrender don't want to surrender yourself with naysayers. Let me give you, and you don't want to say this thing sometimes, right? Even within ourselves, sometimes, right? We can be we can be negative sometimes. I give you a typical example. This was way back in the 90s, right? We just had our first child, and then somebody had come from church. This was back in Nigeria then. Somebody had come from church to visit. She just came to visit because she just loved us, you know, and she didn't have a car. So she came by public transport. And honestly speaking, I didn't know, but she came with, she spent the last in Nigeria we use naira and kobo, right? So she spent the last kobo she had to come on that trip to visit us. So when she was about leaving, my wife just thought, she felt this strong urge in her to go inside and get some money to give to her. It wasn't so much, but it was something. And then so she told me about it that she was going to do this. And I discouraged her. And I said, why? She's not begging you. Why are you going to give her something? And it's so small and all that. She said, this is what she wants to do. Well, anyway, she went ahead and did what she had to do. That was when I learned my first lesson about, what you share with people. And the fact that somebody is your husband or your wife doesn't mean that they can be negative sometimes. Because there's some things, like we have seen in this business, we have seen people that really want to do the business, and they have a spouse that does not believe in the business.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, when the spouse starts to see the success in the business, they join the business. That happened to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That happened to you, right? So
happened
when
to
my
me.
wife, when my wife handed that money to this person, she was so thankful that only if you knew what you had done. That's what she was telling my wife. She said, I was just going to get on the road and just start walking. And where she was coming from was quite far. And she said that what my wife gave to her was exactly what she needed to take a bus home.
Oh
Can you
yeah.
just imagine that?
So that's the intuition. That's the intuition that your wife felt like there's something in here because again, um,
But then I had a mindset that she didn't ask you for this, and it was too small
yeah,
because maybe I probably thought that, I mean, how
it's the
can you
lack of awareness,
you,
Femi.
you know that how can you just give something small? She didn't beg you. So why if you have to give her anything at all, why not give her something reasonable? But at that point in time, that was what was reasonable.
Yeah.
So we can be limited um, we can be limited if we don't if we can be limited by by our beliefs that we have had. you know
Mm-hmm.
if you believe that you want to give something to somebody, it has to be huge, but it's not correct. The thought is what matters.
We're already assuming, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
exactly. So because I was acting based on my consciousness, thinking with the five senses, like you said earlier.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yes.
very. So now the last question now, and we call it a day. You have been so successful in your business, but you didn't just start being successful from day one. You went through some challenges. I'm not telling you to talk about the challenges and whatever, but what changed? I know your mindset changed. You know, how did your mindset change? What effort do you have to put in? Because I mean, we have to let our viewers know that your mindset can be, like that. It takes consciousness. It takes your intention. You have to be intentional in order for you to be able to make a change in your mindset, right? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how did
Yeah.
you intentionally do that?
Well, the thing is, we've been doing this for quite some time now, Femi.
Yeah.
Um, and again, as I mentioned earlier, that your outer world is the reflection of what's happening in your inner world. And I see my result that time, and I wasn't about. I'm not happy about the result, which means my conditioning, my old conditioning,
from
is
the
the
inside.
one. Yeah, is the one that is working, because again, if I am not happy with my result, with my current result, that is the reflection of my old conditioning. And that I made a decision, because I've been listening all this. So again, it's all about the intuition. I am following what my intuition is telling me. Like, okay, someone gave me this link to watch a free webinar of Bob Proctor, and I've been watching Bob for 5 years, behind the scene. Like, even though I show up over here, Femi,
Mm.
right? Remember the first time when we went
Yeah.
live, and then I'm actually doing things behind the scene, because you know what? I really want to prove it to myself that, it's all about the mind, it's all the belief and limitation is the one that is holding us back. That is the reason why my result was not the one that I want. And so I really focus into become emotionally involved. Like, you know what, I have to invest into my personal development and learn how my mind works, because even though, I don't know anything of Amy, I really don't know anything. We think that we know anything, but I don't know anything. I don't even know who I am. I found out that my name is the name that my parents gave me.
Correct.
That's not who I am. This one in my hand is a part of my body, but it's not who I am. And I've learned that I'm actually a spiritual being living in a physical body, and my
Absolutely.
DNA is perfect, right? And all
Correct.
those things that I've learned from my mentor, like, oh my gosh, like I go deep dive into knowing this. This is the one that really changed my life. When I learned how my conscious mind work and my subconscious mind work, and then the body, which is the instrument of the mind, like it changes. But again, it's not an overnight change, because of the programmings that is saved over here. I'm just pulling the weeds one by one. And how do they do that? Through repetition. It takes discipline. You have to discipline your mind. It's not discipline yourself. You have to discipline your mind. What are your thinking? What are the dominant thoughts that is really taking
Mm.
over why my result is not the result that I truly want? And I work on those dominant negative, it's like procrastination. Now that I procrastinate, I do the opposite one. I make a decision quickly. I have that do it now attitude. And then I am now consciously aware, you know, and I'm not on the stage of having that animalistic thinking. What is animalistic thinking? That's being reactive and
Mm.
following all the masses. I don't do that anymore. Not like before. I follow what the masses are doing. Conformity, as you mentioned earlier. I don't conform anymore because of my awareness. And now I strengthen my awareness totally, right? I'm still going to the to master my thinking, because like, okay, I have this old condition and my paradigm is still trying to kick in, but because of my awareness, I stop it immediately and do the work through repetition, auto suggestion, and I do gratitude. So every time there are negative thoughts is trying to kick me off, okay, I embrace that. Thank you for visiting. And that's the time that I focus on the positive, positive, positive. And it takes it really takes repetition, because again, uh these are your belief, right? Your belief, you have been doing that, you have been conditioned. Like, okay, I'm
Your
45
values.
years old. Yeah, I'm 45 years old. I've been conditioned for 45 years of programming, and I am unconsciously doing it over and over again because of a lack of awareness. Now that I reprogram myself in a new belief, right? In a new belief, and I keep strengthening that belief. Once you strengthen it, just like a muscle, a mental muscle, just like you, when you go to the gym, you cannot just like have a you know
Biceps, except you
yeah,
work out.
bicep. It
Mm.
takes repetition to do that. It's the same thing in the mind, and also it takes repetition to reprogram your mind to think differently. And
Yeah.
when I do that, and then it become effortless, like it's just your result become effortless way. So that's something that I've learned from the Power of Awareness from Neville Goddard. When you go to the effortlessly, now that you trained your mind, because 80% of your programming are here and
Hmm.
20% are here, right? So focus on this. You have to prune all the weeds that are in this. So you whatever uh, or positive thoughts become, imagine for me that all your programming become 80% now and you're planting really good seeds in here.
Hmm.
It's just the effortless way. Once you manifest money, money comes to you easily and effortlessly because you are not thinking poverty talks. You are not thinking lack and limitations anymore. You are not doubting yourself anymore because, you know, you program yourself to think differently. People will just come to you, will just come to you effortlessly. You don't
I
even
mean,
know.
you
You
will
didn't,
attract.
yes,
You
you
will
didn't
attract all
know
the
me.
goodness.
Yeah, you didn't know me. Just like
Hmm.
you see me online, like, oh my goodness, like I like the result of this lady. I can reach out to her. I did not. That's why it's just like the energy. There's something in me, probably for me, that you ask help, and now here we are doing this one together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Aranet. I won't want to push this any further, but key things that there are a lot of things here. I mean, like I can't help but to make reference back to the formative age of a child between the age of 0 and age of 4 to 6, when the child sees that everything is possible. A child sees something and he or she believes that he or she can do it, until when we start to, uh, you know, um, uh, to bombard their minds with all the negativities, all the limitations that now kind of like, washes away all those boldness and all those courage that they have in them, because we now condition their minds, which somehow I think a lot of us have done and a lot of people are still doing. I'm not saying that you cannot condition the mind of a child, but like in most cases, right, it has not really brought the best out of them, right. So having said that, we recognize that first of all there has to be a picture, because it's a picture that they see, or it's a video, or it's a person that they see. There's an image that they see that they want to be like, that they want to do. So, I mean, like this, and this is one of the reasons for the vision board, right? Something that you have, that you can see, you can focus your attention on every day. Your mind. You said something about the kind of music that you listen to because of the lyrics of the music, because your subconscious, your subconscious does not think. Your subconscious only accepts. So, if you bombard your subconscious with things that are negative, there's every possibility that you begin to live out those negativities, right? And that's one of the reasons why we say, like always think, I mean, like believe in yourself, right? Never doubt yourself. Believe in your ability. Always think positively towards yourself. Don't surround yourself with naysayers. Don't surround yourself with people that think that nothing is impossible, or that not, so like surround yourself with people that are doing the extraordinary, because if they can do
Mm-hmm.
it, then you can do it. And never find yourself saying that this is not possible because you have not done it before, because you have not seen it work before. Just like some people will say, these people are lying and all that stuff, right? I mean, like, there are a lot of people that are within our community that when they talk, they came to the business just because they wanted additional $200 or $300, particularly women, so that they can support their husbands. And then most of them have finally retired their husbands, with the same business they came in for $500. They came in for 500. Little did they know that they could be earning as much as six figures. So, like, there's a lot of conditioning of the mind. So, like, in actual sense, what we are saying is that if you are in a place in life that you don't like, the first thing you have to do is look inward. Because, like
Mm-hmm.
Alex said, you know, your outward appearance is a reflection of what is on the inside of you. If you are weak on the outside, you are definitely weak on the inside. And when I'm talking about weakness, I'm not talking about strength as fighting somebody, but in your charisma, in what you bring out, in what you exude in terms of confidence, in your achievement in life, that means that within you, you have not really done much for yourself. But if you really want to achieve so much on the outside, then go back and work on your inside. And
Work the inside out. Yeah.
and one thing she said also that's very important, because this is a deliberate exercise that you have to do always. Deliberate exercise, not something that you do today. You have to make up your mind, you're going to do this and do this continuously. You have to do it for at least about 90 days, because science has proven that for something to become a habit is something that like you have to have intentionally engaged in or with for at least 90 days. So at this point, we're going to stop. We spent quite some time. We never thought we were going to spend this much. But of course, having Aranet here, uh, that seem to love mindset so much, I will have experienced that it's possible to have it go this far. And I just want to say a big thank you to you, Aranet, for honoring this invitation. And a big thank you to everyone that has watched this streaming. Please let us know where you are watching from, and those that will be watching later the replay would like to know where you're watching from as well. And at this point, we just want to pull the curtains and say a big thank you to all of you. And until this same time next week. But before I say bye, let me just make an announcement. There is somebody so special within our business community, a very powerful Nigerian woman. She's Canadian now, that has done exceedingly well for herself. I'll be interviewing her sometime this afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. She's going to be laying it bare, how she worked from, how she had made a great success in her business from when she started, how she was able to manage the business with her job, and at what point in time did she recognize that, okay, it's enough of this work and I'm facing this business 100%. So we'll be sharing our success story today, this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yay.
God
That's
bless you.
exciting, baby.
Yeah. All right then.